Bong. We're live. It's the Kent Beck Scrum. And we have Ben and Ryder and Nico and Sam. And we're all here. Yay. And my voice. And Michael's here too. Yay, Michael. And oh, Ben's taking his beard off. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's
making a comeback though. I forgot how quickly this.
So my voice is a little weak. I guess I will go. Shall I go last or first? I'll go first. Updates. We just had the Autograders Beta Starters client meeting, and before that, yeah, we didn't have anybody for the Elixir mob, and so I just tinkered around. And actually, I've been focusing mainly on trying to work out a schedule for the My Notebook project going forward. We had the design sprint last week. We built a Android iOS app using React Native and tested it with real French sailors on the Friday. It was quite exciting. Yeah, client seems happy. And
So
go on, Michael.
just keep going.
Oh, but yeah, I can maybe show a little demo of that at the end if people are interested. Right now, we've got the website one meeting coming up. Sigu has very excitingly just got Jitsi to work on our servers for Azure, and Federico has renewed our Azure sponsorship for the next year. So those are all positive things. Yeah, and I'm trying to get better from this. My temperature is back to normal. Just need my voice and throat to recover. But yeah, basically under control. I'm terribly behind on reviewing pull requests and things, but eventually we'll get there. That's me. I think maybe Ryder was in. Let's go across. Ryder, how are things going with you?
Yeah, I was really impressed. Good. I was really impressed with the design sprint, and it sounds like some really cool things came out of that. And above all, I was so skeptical at the top of the week. Like, is this really going to be in the hands of French sailors in any way that they can sort of reasonably give feedback on? And it was just really cool, really, really cool to see how things came together and all the hard work and thought that people put into that. Me right now, I have this engineering position at Salesforce. I'm looking at other positions, trying to find something that's a better fit. Like something really, really collaborative. Like I would not at all be unhappy if I found a shop where they just did all pair programming all the time. And if I were doing something like Elixir, like a functional language with supervision trees, that'd be cool too. Anyway, so it's requiring me to go back into this whole branding thing and resume thing and networking thing, and I hate doing that.
You're here.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll be quick. We'll see. That's all I got.
Oh, good stuff. I was just thinking, well, that we've got a special jobs feed channel, which is all about remote and non-profit jobs and so on.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I should head in there today.
I've just added you there.
Thank you.
Nico's been making some good use of that. Excellent.
Am I part of that as well?
You can be. This is it's a special privilege for premium members, and but you are both.
I don't want to leave that on the table then.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It's yep. You're both in there. Anything blocking you on the technical front at all, Ryder?
I just applied for a distributed systems engineer and security position, and I pretty much hit everything on their minimum requirements. The only thing I'm worried about is, like Google, they don't necessarily do this everywhere with Salesforce, but when you start heading out west, you end up with a lot of positions where they require you to have a CS degree.
Okay.
So that's kind of sad. And if they stick rigidly to that, then I'll just be out of the running. But in terms of the technical skills, what was I worried about that was out there? They wanted you to have DevOps-y kinds of experience deploying stuff. Some of it I felt a little lightweight on, but there was nothing, once I actually dug into it, where I was like, wow, I know nothing about that. Oh, but I was super shocked. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
I was super shocked, Sam, that they were asking for fluency for this distributed systems position in one of the following: C++, Golang, Python, C#, Java. Elixir and Erlang wasn't even on their list, and that just shocked the hell out of me. And I wrote that on my comment. I was like, so why isn't Erlang or Elixir on this thing?
I'm wondering about that. Is Elixir, has Elixir been sidelined?
Well, Ben, before we dive into that, let's, because we're doing the Scrum.
Sorry.
The way that Ryder interpreted the technical block.
Right.
I meant, that's very interesting to hear about, is it technical blocks for the getting hired. I meant technical block on, for example, Paranauts or...
oh, gosh. Sorry. I took us down a complete alley.
Very interesting one, though. But
yeah, it was interesting.
Paranauts, I think we're good. Ben, the change that Ben and I had made a little while back was not anything huge. It was certainly helpful. I think the next step for us there is, I don't remember, but I don't think we're blocked by anything.
Yeah, no, well, fantastic. That's good news. Great stuff. Well, thank you. Right, let's go on to Nico. Nico, how are things going with you?
Good. I've been checking what was the problem with the upgrade to the sham on website 1, and I think that the tests that are being done to the private methods, we don't need them because that is being tested with Cucumber.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we are testing it like twice, but I would like to see it anyways on website 1. The meeting, I mean.
Yeah,
so
we'll
no
look at that
blockers.
more. And I think you did a deploy to the staging as well now successfully.
I did a deploy to staging, but we had an error like saying it is that intermittent error that we get sometimes.
Okay.
So I did a rebuild just now. So it is rebuilding now.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Anything else blocking you at all?
No.
No. Well, all right. Let's go on to, thank you, Nico. Go on to Michael. Hey, Michael, how are you doing?
Hey, I just attended the tail end of the what is it, beta testers meeting. It's about no blocks.
All right. Any plans?
Today, probably not. I did have a question after we're done with about the design sprint, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll have a little review of that at the end. Yeah, hopefully we can do the deep learning mob on Thursday as well. Sorry about the break there. Let's go on to Ben. Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
Things
are going all right. I don't think I have any blocks. I would say I would add about, well, I have the same block I've had for a while, and I think it's the WikiEDU dashboard thing, and it's sort of, that's receded way further than the back burner, unfortunately, because it's an interesting problem, and I've actually been trying to figure out if I can solve it without the getting the bureaucratic stuff I need, and it seems like not. So I'm not certain what's going on there. I don't want to be a thorn in anybody's side, though. But okay, so there's that. Paranauts, I think we need to clarify some of the things that because the stuff we were coming up against was sort of conceptual, like vision stuff.
Right, like a lack of design coherence.
Yeah, so it's not really clear what the next thing to tackle is. At least it wasn't in our minds. So that's something. That's why we sort of ended up going to Trello and saying some stuff about that.
Sure.
I think that's the deal there. Otherwise, yeah, I think I'm looking for something else to work on now. I think on website 1.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise, no, it was, again, I'll reiterate, I'll sort of reinforce the idea that it was good to see all the design sprint stuff. I wasn't able to do much because I had actual other work that I had to focus on last week too. And then by the time I'd gotten that off my plate, I was way behind. So I just was a lurker. It's good to see, though.
Yeah, it was a good fun session. Well, thank you, Ben. Yeah, maybe on Friday, hopefully, Ryder and I will be pairing on Paranauts, and we can get into those things. Then, obviously, website 1 meeting coming right now. We can get into website 1 stuff. Yeah, well, I think that's our Scrum. Then I have for your, whatever the word is, entertainment, for your erudition, for your edification. That's the word I was looking for. I've got, well, I will have momentarily, the here we go, open on Android. So this is the app that we developed in the state that it got into Here you go. Which did run on the phone in France for the French sailors. It's going to do a little bundle building here. But yeah, so we've got here this XDE framework. This is from Expo. And this allows us to kind of like just send this stuff very quickly, both to a local emulator device, but also publish it to the cloud and then provide a link where anybody can download and use it. So this is the main navigation screen. And the main sort of feature that we managed to get in there is this sort of boat status thing where you can see various items. Click on there, you see, it's all in French, of course. You can then update the state of your, I think this is a life raft or something, and indicate that it's all good, and then it goes green. And you can sort of go across and make sure that all of the different items of, the important things that need to be checked on a boat before you go sailing on it are all in the right state of affairs. And that was sort of the main kind of core of the app there. Where we didn't quite get to was these centerpieces are supposed to kind of indicate how much of your boat is ready. That's there for future work. But then we've also got this sort of checklists of other things, like before you go on a voyage.
So
on. Go on, Michael.
So this was written in React Native, you said?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello? I said yes.
Did you say it was written in React Native? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
React
I had a
Native.
question about why did you decide to go with React Native in the design sprint? Because I remember when we did our design sprint and then when we had read the book,
Yeah.
they kind of emphasized particularly that you only have, a day or whatever, and you shouldn't use
Right.
you shouldn't use like real tools, quote unquote, or the normal
You should be trying to build
tools that one might build the real thing in. That you should use prototyping tools.
Absolutely, yes. It's an interesting thing. I mean, which would generally be my preference. We had a situation where the client had built a kind of interactive keynote system themselves, which we used. And I was saying to them, that you built this keynote, which I can show you actually, is this thing here. And oops, oh, there it is. And so this can be kind of like played, and then and then you can sort of move through. I've done it the wrong way, and move through it. But it's got like all hyperlinks in it and so on, whatever. And so we were trying to sell the client on saying, look, we can kind of do a keynote thing, and but we can have it so that it actually runs on a phone. But I don't know that we necessarily managed to explain that well enough. I think the client felt that they already had a keynote prototype. I think there's still a lot to be learned from, there's a big difference between showing somebody a slide deck on a projector and showing somebody the keynote set up so that it actually runs on the phone. But so the client was keen to have something more than just the keynote. At the beginning, I was under the impression that there was a lot of data entry required. And so one of the things that, oh, hey there, Stella. We're going to have to finish up soon, I'm afraid. Even Thoughtbot and Google say is they do have like these frameworks like Proteus, which are coding in Middleman or what have you, in order to do forms. Because one of the things that the prototyping tools don't do very well is they don't handle forms very well, and they don't handle state very well. So we kind of ended up, I was thinking that we were going to go for an HTML prototype and, using one of those frameworks. But then Federico suggested the React Native with this Expo thing, and we gave it a try. And actually, to be honest, I think it was pretty effective. We also basically, to meet the needs of the client, I think the client was, had a fairly clear vision of what they wanted, and were maybe less interested in 2 days of brainstorming all the conceivable possible apps you could make and then focusing in on one. So what we ended up doing was we had, we did the beginning, the first day and a half the same, but then we basically started prototyping on the second half of day 2, and then did 3 days of prototyping and ended up with something that would, maintain state on the device. Ironically, of course, it turned out it's not, in the first instance, it doesn't require that much data entry. It's just, selecting things. But I think
so you
go on.
the design sprint turned more into a hackathon.
Yeah, yeah, but we used a kind of, we used a lot of the we it's like we basically customized the design sprint so that we kind of we use the same we use the initial day and a half exactly as it would be on a design sprint. Then we did like a 3-day hackathon, and then we did usability testing.
So who was there, like besides the client? You, Federico, and was anybody else?
Yeah, Nico, Nick, Zamago joined in a bit later. Yeah, it was mainly Nick, Nico, Federico, and myself. And then we had Lara and Mikhail come in as experts.
So is it the idea that design, like it can have different meanings. Like there's visual and UX design, and then there's engineering design, and maybe they didn't have. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that potentially that the whole of the client's app could benefit from a reworking from a pure design sprint sort of style of things. At the same time, we kind of the way we did the React Native thing is we coded very raw and ready, and we just did this kind of like complete spike to get something up, and we actually learned a lot of valuable things about for the project going forwards. About could we use React Native to deploy this kind of thing? So I think it was a good compromise, design sprint / hackathon.
So where does the code live now? Is it
the code is open? Yeah, it's open source. Agile Ventures / my Notebook prototype, and the app is also available. Anyway, we kind of run off the end. It's time for the website 1 meeting. I'll just share the. I'll find the thing, but yeah, we've got. I've got links for these things I shared in the previous hangout, and I'll share them now. But yeah, otherwise, great to see everybody, and maybe see some of you in the. I forgot what it's called already. Website 1 meeting.
All right.
Good stuff. Of course, and people want to. This is other thing. If people want to arrange pairing sessions, you can of course do that right now. GitHub.
Yeah. Trying to think of this week.